What's up, everybody? Tonight I am making some stuffed peppers, and with those we're gonna make some salmon. I know last week we made salmon, but that's what Anna is really craving, so that's what I'm gonna make for her. But last time we did bites, this time we're just baking it, and I might do mine like walnut or pistachio crusted. We'll see how lazy I'm feeling when we get around to that part. So first thing I'm gonna do is just take this out of the packaging and then pat it dry. And I had like a super, I'm sorry I'm really late, but we had so much to do today, and then the AC in our house is like kind of uneven during the winter, where in the summer in Texas, it's 80 degrees all night, so you just set the AC to 70 and then it's perfect. But Sophia's room, for some reason, like this winter, whenever it's in the 60s outside, her room gets really cold, but the rest of her house is like super hot. So the vent in her room wasn't shutting, so I had to get my dad snacks vibe on and get a power drill and like take it out, manually close it, and then drill it back in. So that's what I was doing when I should have been going live. And Anna is upstairs with her, giving her bath and putting her to bed. Which is actually perfect timing because I want to be able to have Anna's food ready as soon as she gets done. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is just pat this salmon dry. Do you blink? So I actually have a condition where whenever I make reels or videos in general, I'm not able to blink. It's just something that happens. So if you guys ever watch my reels and you notice I don't blink, I'm just not able to do it. By the way, I'm just kidding, but the reason I don't blink is because I was listening to a podcast that mentioned this. Not blinking is a way to, I don't read. So when I make my videos, I'm not reading them from like a teleprompter or like a notepad. I write down what I'm gonna say in the video, like say the Thanksgiving video where I'm giving like advice and it's all words. It's not a cooking video, it's words. I don't write down what I'm saying. I write it down in my notes, and then when I record, I'm just going off of memory. So when I'm trying to remember what to say, I think blinking like resets your memory. So that's why I don't blink when I do my videos. But fun fact, when I do my cooking reels, the voiceovers, I actually don't even watch the video when I do the voiceover. I have like a photographic memory because I spend so much time stitching the video together that I just go to record the voiceover and I just know, and it always aligns perfectly. All right, we're gonna take this and season it now. Actually, I've been scratching my face after touching salmon, and now I have the smell of salmon like stuck on my nose. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do, air fryer spikes up the light bill. I stopped using it. I never knew that, but I know microwaves are very energy intensive. What's good, Jen? And shout out to everybody saying that I look like I've lost weight. I feel like I have. I've lost 5 pounds for sure, but I feel like my body composition has definitely changed. And Keto Living Laura, basically I lost 80 pounds and then I maintained it for like several years. And then once we had a baby, I gained about 15. But what I did during the maintenance period was just whatever I did to lose the weight. That's the reason people don't keep the weight off, because they do a diet to lose it and then they go back to eating Oreos every night. They go back to eating whatever they want. They go back to not tracking what they're eating. And it's just like that strategy is always going to result in not only gaining back what you lost, but it's going to result in probably gaining more than you lost, because your body was like on a diet, and then your body, you like kind of reduced your energy output, and then you introduce a whole bunch of calories back into it, especially if you had a restrictive mindset. And now you're just like off plan, like eating even more than you did before you even started keto. So whatever lifestyle you're trying to stick to, you want to be very careful about, is this sustainable for me? And maybe keto isn't sustainable for you. So you should look into trying something else, because you've got to, maybe you do keto for a while and then you transition to like a more low carb, healthy way of eating. But you can't just do a diet to lose the weight and then go back to eating exactly how you were before. Like, that's why you were overweight. All right, I'm melting some butter. We're just gonna put it in a little bowl. I know people want me to start cooking, but this is what I feel like doing, so we'll cook when we get around to it. Into a little glass bowl and then in the microwave. But I will tell you guys, the way that I've been kind of tracking a little bit is reminds me of when I used to do intermittent fasting. So before I did, well, actually, after I did keto and then I learned about the benefits of intermittent fasting, it's kind of blurry. Like, my memory on all of this, on my weight loss timeline, is a little blurry. But at some point in my keto journey, I don't remember if it was like before I lost all the weight or right after, but around 2018, I did some intermittent fasting where I remember now because I was driving Grubhub while I was building keto snacks. And that's the time I did intermittent fasting, because I would do that like all night and then I would come home and eat. But what I'm doing now, where I'm kind of tracking what I'm eating, I'm staying around like 200 calories under maintenance, and I don't recommend you start tracking your calories. If I was at the beginning of my keto journey and someone told me to track my calories, I would have said, no, go away. But you've done keto for 6 years, you can experiment with things. And the thing I'm noticing, it's very similar to when I did intermittent fasting, because it's like, you just have to question, am I actually hungry or not, you know? And when you have like a budget, it's like finances. If I get to the point where I'm really hungry, by the way, I'll eat way over whatever the app is telling me I can have. So I'm not doing it in that sense. But if I go from 10 a.m. when I have my coffee with a protein shake to 8 p.m., I don't feel that hungry. So it's easy to do. And before I was tracking anything, I wasn't hungry either, but I was also shoving food into my mouth because I was bored, because it was fun, because I was just like listening to my stomach. And when you live in a house surrounded by food, your stomach is going to tell you to eat everything. So I think that tracking has been very helpful, but it's shown me that for people who don't want to track, for people who are doing keto and they're not seeing results, intermittent fasting can be great, because when you let yourself have the creamy coffee, by the way. I'm not saying you have to follow the actual protocols of intermittent fasting, but when you save the bulk of your calories for one meal, maybe it's in the morning, maybe it's at night, whatever, you're overeating so much less frequently, because people who work from home, people who have a lot of snacks in the break room, like, it's just, we live in an environment that's designed for us to be overeating. All right, I'm seriously gonna make the salmon now. First thing we're gonna do is take a baking sheet. I can't believe you said that. Always have to ask myself if I am hungry, 100% bored. Yeah, Donna, just interrupting the impulse to put something in your mouth is so beneficial. Food and otherwise. All right, so, like, sometimes I get the urge to drink more coffee. When I've had 2 cups of coffee, I feel pretty stimulated from the coffee, but I just want to drink something sweet. And if that's the case, diet soda is a great option. I don't need another coffee with cream or protein shake. I need parchment paper that fits our freaking baking sheet perfectly, because I always have to do this with scissors. It's very annoying. I feel like by the time the salmon is done, Sophia is going to be in bed and Anna's going to be coming down like, where's my food at? All right, we've made it to the first step. I've literally done that, Dee Dee. Yes, so I do the same with coffee. I make a third but spill it out in the sink. I just think I want it. I do the exact same thing. I've actually, I'll make a third cup, right? And 2 cups is like my limit. It's crazy how much it varies for me because during certain phases of my life, I'm able to tolerate a lot more caffeine. There's probably some scientific reason for that, but right now I'm at 2 cups. And sometimes when I'm feeling risky or if I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to make my third. And then I take a few sips and I stop myself. I'm like, no, I want to sleep good tonight. So I pour it into the sink. By the way, do you guys make coffee in like a pot or do you use K-cups? I know some of the super strict people are into like avoiding K-cups. I don't care about plastic. I'm probably 13% microplastics. That's fine with me. Alright, I have to be careful what I touch because I have a salmon hand right now. So first thing we're gonna do is brush on some butter. Salmon has become my least favorite fish these days. Really interesting. Rock and Shake, you could definitely eat these salmon fillets. So it's kind of split between K-cups or a coffee pot. All right, I'm brushing the butter on top. And I should probably brush a little butter on the skin so they don't stick. Even though it's parchment paper, I don't want it to stick. Now I really have to wash my hands because now both hands are contaminated. This little brush is so cool. All right, and all I have to season them with is salt, pepper, garlic, and paprika. What's the protein shake you talk about? All right, so I like, what's it called? I like the Caramel Premier Protein Shakes. I used to get them at Costco because it was such a good deal. Now I feel so regretful every time I buy them at Walmart because they're so expensive. I wish I could just make my own. But guys, getting protein first thing in the morning, that's why if I'm going to do intermittent fasting, I'm still going to have that protein shake at the beginning of the day. Because getting protein first thing in the morning sets your body up to not crave everything that comes across your eyeballs. Like when you start your day, maybe with nothing or maybe with carbs, which would make it 1,000 times worse. But when you start your day without protein, you basically are like setting yourself up to just want to eat everything in sight. So start your day with protein. It's also good for your body, retaining muscle mass, like not even lifting weights, but just being healthy. A lot of people think of like building muscle or maintaining muscle as, oh, you're trying to get muscular. But if you're a woman and you're afraid of lifting weights because you think you're going to look jacked, there are women who dedicate their entire lives to building muscle and they struggle looking like somewhat toned, looking like they have a small amount of muscle. So the average person who starts lifting weights is 0% going to look jacked as a woman. So lifting weights is it's for a lot of reasons, but one of the main ones if you're trying to lose weight is it just raises the amount of calories you burn by existing. So if you have muscle mass, your body just consumes more calories by existing, which, yeah, that could drive up your appetite a little, but there are other benefits to having muscle mass. Like I talked about this yesterday, when you hit your 60s and 70s, the likelihood of somebody who falls and breaks a bone and never walking again is like extremely high. But if you maintain muscle mass, your likelihood of that happening is extremely low. So being able to like catch yourself when you fall, these things are very important as you age. All right, I haven't even seasoned the salmon yet. I just got the Ultima electrolyte powder. Love it, strawberry kiwi flavor. Ooh, that sounds super yummy, Bern. I don't think I've had strawberry kiwi. All right, she told me garlic powder, salt, pepper, and paprika. We're out of paprika. Should I use cayenne pepper and tell her it was paprika? Actually, we have the big tub of paprika. Okay, paprika. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. We have dill, but the dill is supposed to go into the in the salad she wants to make. The reason I'm not making the salad, I don't know if I told you guys this, is because she makes me wash the lettuce. I don't wash lettuce. I don't know why you would. Until I get a piece of lettuce that makes me wish I did wash it. Then I'll understand why you wash it. But Anna makes me wash the lettuce, and I don't know how to wash it, so I'm just gonna let her make the salad when she gets down here. I need the salt. Does anyone else have a salt shaker, but you just dump it out of the big container? What does paprika do? I don't know what it does. It just adds flavor. We don't have ground dill. We have fresh dill, which is going in the salad. Okay. By the way, if you guys have noticed, I'm much more talkative on the live, like tonight and lately. I really think what's happening is... Oh, no, I forgot to add pepper. So I think there are two reasons why I feel like I've had more to say lately. Number one is I've been working really hard on the book. So I'm like, every single day I'm doing 600 words for the book, and sometimes more. And that's like no matter what, on Sunday, every day. But that's getting my mind spinning around like just my message and like what does keto snacks mean. And another reason I think that ever since I stopped just shoving a bunch of random food in my mouth throughout the day, which, by the way, it's a miracle how if you're doing keto, I got away with not counting calories, not doing anything other than just keeping my carbs low. I could shove whatever I wanted into my mouth, and I was at a healthy weight. You guys saw me even at 195, which that was not related to the shoving anything in my mouth. That was more so because I was having cheats. Like, it went from once a month to I tell this whole story in the book, but basically in June of 2021, I was coming off of 2 years with no cheats, and then we went to New York. I obviously ate carbs for 3 days straight, and then in August of 2021, I had another 3 days of carbs because we went to Tennessee to see my family, and then in September of 2021, I had another 3 days of carbs at an all-inclusive resort, and then I just got into the habit of like going off plan for weekends, and that kind of screwed me a little. And then that turned into like, we got pregnant, we got engaged, I started having weekly cheats, and then that's probably responsible for most of the 15 pounds I gained. But I'm just thinking back on like, even aside from that, throughout my entire keto journey, I've always, aside from that short period where I intermittent fasted, I've always allowed myself the option to just shove food into my mouth if it was low in carbs and if I felt like I wanted to. And I never got above like a healthy weight, you know? So that's just something that's amazing about keto to me. Like, even if I wasn't tracking the calories, my appetite was kind of regulating it for me. I don't remember what time I put the salmon in. Oh my God, hold on. Okay. But anyway, but now that I am tracking a little, I'm realizing a lot of that eating was like unnecessary. And I think saving all of my eating for the end of the day makes my mind sharper. A lot of people do intermittent fasting for that reason. So specifically, if you're not doing keto, this is really beneficial. Whenever you eat a high carb meal or a big meal of any sort, your body uses a lot of resources to digest it. So what I've noticed is ever since I started just doing like a protein coffee in the morning and then maybe a can of oysters or maybe a Monk Pack bar or something throughout the day, and then I save most of my food for like 7 or 8, which isn't optimal. Some people have a big meal at the beginning of the day, but this is just my experience. I feel like my energy through the day is like through the roof. Even if digesting food while you're sleeping is messing with my sleep quality, I feel more energetic and alive now than I did when I just ate throughout the day and my last meal wasn't as big. So I'm just like learning a lot about myself and my journey over these past few weeks. How long of a fast do you suggest to help jumpstart ketosis? I don't think you should do an extended fast to jumpstart ketosis. I think you should just go do keto. But if you have a healthy relationship with fasting and you're not worried about like going down the path of binge eating and restricting, then I think an extended fast of like a day would be good. I think after 24 hours you start burning ketones, but you don't want to do any extended fasting or intermittent fasting if you have a history of like binging and restricting, because that's like too similar, you know? It's like you're kind of like going from, oh, well, when I did it back then it was bad, but when I do it now it's fasting, so it's good. But it's still the same behavior. I don't know if your brain knows the difference. Obviously you'd want to talk to like a mental health professional about this, but I just feel like the type of person who binges may not benefit from intermittent fasting or even specifically extended fasting, because it's just too similar to the cycle you're used to, you know, the unhealthy cycle. Donna, I feel you on that. Eating one meal a day is also good because food prices, like having the luxury to just make all these like fun snacks throughout the day all day, and then have like something fun for breakfast and lunch and dinner, that's going to be expensive, especially if you're on a diet. What's the fastest way to get into ketosis? Like I said, the 24-hour fast, but oysters, I am scared to try in the can. Love raw thoughts. Costco always has them cheap. What are the benefits? Oysters have a ton of benefits. They have a lot of like essential minerals. They have a lot of omega-3s. I don't want to say exactly what's going on, why they're so good, but just research it. Oysters are amazing for you. I try to eat canned oysters at least once a week. And Anna will always like come downstairs after I eat oysters, and I'll like give her her morning kiss or whatever. And she like pushes me away and is like, no, I don't want to be near you right now. Because it is a strong smell. It's specifically the canned oysters, you know? Canned any like seafood has a strong smell. I remember our cat, Milo, when I lived with my parents, he could smell when we opened a can of tuna from like, if he was outside down the block, as soon as you opened the can of tuna, he would magically appear in the kitchen. Okay, so along with the salmon, I'm going to make some of these for Anna. Oh, when you buy oysters, yes, watch the oil they're in. That's a good idea to buy them on Amazon, Liz, because they last for like 9 years, so you don't need to worry about them being perishable. Olive oil is the only oil I get my oysters in, because they usually put them in weird oils like cottonseed oil or something. I know seed oils aren't good because the omega-6 content, they're heavily processed, a lot of inflammation, bad things happen. But I think the main problem with seed oils is just a lot of correlational data of like Oh, Flaming Hot Cheetos are cooked in seed oils. Oh, ranch dressing has, like, one of the major causes of obesity isn't an increase in grains and carbs. It's actually an increase in fat, and it's an increase in like dressings and stuff. So ranch dressing, when you start keto, is a great tool, and don't put too much thought into this if you're worrying about just getting started on your keto journey, you know? Just do whatever it takes to break the carb addiction, because that is the most addictive thing, is like that blood sugar roller coaster. But the problem with a lot of seed oils is like they're just in really fun foods. So obviously the people who eat the most fun foods are going to be the most obese. So I think, and then obviously obese people have the most health issues. So that's where the correlation between seed oils and all these issues comes from, aside from the omega-6s, the inflammation. It's just like, yeah, most processed junk food has seed oils in it. Most people who eat out and get fried food are eating seed oils. So what do you expect to happen to their health? But is it really the seed oils, or is it like what's going on with their diet? Because most of the junk food just happens to have seed oils in it. Like, I don't know if you could convince me that a person who eats a lot of like grass-fed ribeyes, who eats a lot of salmon, who eats oysters, who eats avocados and like fresh like berries and stuff, and doesn't eat any junk food. Maybe they cook everything in canola oil. I don't know if they would be that unhealthy, you know? So it's a lot of lifestyle, like demonizing any one ingredient. And I'm not giving seed oils a pass. I'm just saying, like, demonizing any one ingredient is very convenient for us to be like, I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to be way healthier for it. And you probably will. But it doesn't mean that's like the fact of what's happening. Like, it's because that specific ingredient. Maybe it's just everything that comes along with that ingredient and what happens in your body. But, yeah. I like those baby bell peppers with cottage cheese. Oh, that actually sounds good. And I was actually talking about this in my book. It's the same thing with bread. I honestly, like, I think that there are people who, I know people who are very healthy who make their own sourdough bread and eat it all the time, and they're very healthy. So before we like go down the path of like keto is our religion, the government's conspiring to make us fat, maybe that's true, but it's not the ingredients that are making us fat. It's like the things they're packaged with and the amount of them that we eat, you know? All right, we have 40 seconds left for the salmon. I haven't even started on these. Ever notice on the bag of pork rinds, they never list the kind of oil they're fried in? I've never noticed that. Dang, that kind of just ruined pork rinds. Is it my eyes or did you hurt your face? Where? I don't think so. I really hope I didn't overcook the salmon because I almost called Anna Sophia. I feel like Anna and Sophia are like one person at this point. Every time I look at them, it's just both of them. Okay. So at nighttime, Sophia's great. She sleeps for like 12 hours. But during the day, she's a contact napper. And I'm literally working from the time I wake up until like now. I take Sophia for like an hour or two. But during the day, she's just on Anna. I'm like, we could like get some help, you know? We can do some things, but Anna loves it. She's like very attached to Sophia. It's the most beautiful thing to see. It's like I never thought anything would feel more fulfilling than seeing Anna and Sophia spending time together. So Rock and Chip, she doesn't sleep 12 hours straight, but she sleeps basically 12 hours because she wakes up at 6 to feed, but she's literally sleeping like through the feed. Like her eyes are shut the whole time. Alright, the salmon is done. It looks a little overcooked. Anna's gonna be the real judge though. Alright, we're still working on these little... Oh, so the pork rinds are fried in pork fat, so it's not bad. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna focus on cutting these so I don't cut my fingers off. But that makes sense. By the way, the fat in pork rinds is one of my favorite things for pork rind crusted chicken fingers. So if you guys have ever made chicken fingers on keto with like almond flour or something, you have to use a lot of oil because they get dry. You almost want to fry them in avocado oil or something, or like beef tallow. But the thing about pork rind breaded chicken fingers is you don't even have to fry them in oil. You can literally air fry them with no oil, and all of the fat from the pork rind soaks up into the chicken, and it is so freaking delicious. All right. You use such a tiny knife. I have a big knife, but it's upstairs for some reason. I'm just gonna get the last little bit of these seeds. Karen, you liked the eggplant pizzas. That's actually one of the first recipes I made like as keto snacks. It's in my very first book, Breaking Up with Carbs. Not the one you guys have probably seen, the orange cover one. There's like a rare collector's edition, blue covered Breaking Up with Carbs. It's like the rough draft to Breaking Up with Carbs where everyone kept asking, where's your book? Where's your book? And I was like, I gotta rush and put something out. And then I put it out in July of 2019. And then in 2020, shout out to Mandy, an OG turtle. She messaged me like, hey, I'll help you on the updated version. So from July to February of 2020, I kind of worked on the updated version that you guys know. All right, cream cheese. And then the new book is going to be called Carefree Keto. Yo, this is whipped cream cheese. It is so much better than the other stuff. I'm just gonna eat one right now. I wanna say Carefree Keto will be no later than February. But like I said, basically all of 2021, I was kind of sleeping on it. 2022 came around and we had a baby, so it was harder for me to consistently work on it every day. But I listened to a great podcast on habit building called Huberman Lab. Look it up, Huberman Lab, Building Habits. It's really great. And I honestly referenced that to help me make working on the book a habit, and it worked. And some of the things I did, I started taking Alpha GPC, which is a supplement that it basically just activates the part of your brain associated with like neuroplasticity, which means the part of your brain that helps you create change. And I started taking that when I worked on the book. And you want to do it at the same phase of the day. So it doesn't have to be the same time, but if you're trying to build a new habit, you want done in the first phase of the day. So you wake up from like 8 to 4. Try to do the new habit anywhere from that time, because that's when a lot of the brain chemicals associated with like completing tasks are active. And then I basically just did listen to that whole podcast, and that helped me a lot. And for the past probably month and a half, I've been waking up every day and working on it. I'd never tried to eat a bell pepper like that. It's so good. All right, the salmon is out. We're gonna season the bell peppers, and we're gonna take a picture of it. I'm gonna bring the camera over here so you guys can see it under the lights. All right, I hope that taking my phone charger out doesn't mess anything up. All right, guys, I'm coming in 1 second. Where's our everything but the bagel? What the heck? Oh, it's right here. All right, guys, I'm coming in 2 seconds, I promise. I wonder if everything bagel would be good on like smoked salmon. So I put it on a plate. I have the eggplant from the video I did today. A lot of the videos you see in like my reels, I actually shot the day I post them. I'm gonna direct my phone so you guys can actually see the food. It'll look better in a second. I just have to get the camera out and take a picture. All right, this looks perfect. Yummy, yummy. We'll do one more. All right, I think this is fine. Let's eat. And I will be the judge of whether it's too dry or not for now. But it looks like Sophia is not asleep yet, so Anna will not be able to let us know while we're live. I know everything's a disaster around here right now. Okay. I'm just gonna eat it with my hand. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. I think there's a fork right here. There's a spoon. You know, the supplement I was talking about is called Alpha GPC. I'm not recommending anyone take it. There are some like risks associated with it. They can be offset by like a garlic supplement, but I'm not giving any supplement advice. But it's called Alpha GPC, and it activates like something to do with choline, citrulline. The podcast is called Huberman Lab Habits. I don't know the exact name, but it's the Huberman Lab episode about habits. All right, let's take a bite of the salmon with a spoon. Oh, something happened to the wall. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? I think it's amazing. I think Anna might think it's a little dry. It's so good though. Oh my god. Aaron is an OG turtle. Shout out to all the turtles. I don't know. What are you guys saying? What happened to the wall? Is it the like speckle that's on it? Buen provecho. That's what Anna says in her cooking videos. We bought the salmon at our grocery store called H-E-B. So you don't need to worry about the percentage of your daily intake. You just want to stay under 25 net carbs per day. Wait, the wall hanging behind you. Is the piece of art broken? I think it's the painting behind you. It's an illusion. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's a piece of art. All right, so the peppers are just mini peppers with whipped cream cheese and everything bagel. It looks undone, but cool. Oh, okay, guys. I thought there was like something crazy happening. If you're not doing keto and you're just doing low carb, you don't have to stay under 25 carbs a day, even 100 carbs a day. Oh, people thought it was the wall. All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I love you. I believe in you. Have a blessed rest of your night.